No.
Dr. Kumala, let me just take you back to your opening statements. You talked about the desire of INEC to give Nigerians a more credible election than in 2011. Fantastic dream. But how do you expect the electors in Nigeria to believe or to trust you again, because they did trust you after 2011? How do you expect them to trust you, seeing that you said you're going to distribute PVCs? And many people go to these polling units and no INEC officials. Or they get there, they spend the whole day, and they leave without finding their names or collecting their PVCs, even after some of them had seen their names on the register. So how do you expect Nigerians will trust you? Are you incompetent?
No.
Because that's what many people think.
We cannot be termed to be incompetent. Why? Because if you look at the assignment of INEC, the INEC staff that work for INEC are just a small fraction of the entire population of workers of INEC. The ones we have total control on are minimal. But I want to say that it is the desire of INEC, with patriotic zeal in the leadership of INEC, that has made all these things to happen. You know, I said earlier that there was nothing wrong in saying use the temporary voters cards, but we know that there are a lot of imperfections in the conduct of the last election. People still have had their ways, one way or the other, and wanted to reduce that. And what is making this to happen is because of the political class. In some countries of the world, the political parties print their own ballot papers and they distribute to the polling units. So the problem of workers getting late to the polling units will not be there, because we keep the ballot papers close to our chest, because we want to prevent people getting hold of it and perpetrating irregularities. In a West African country, poll officials collect the materials, take them home, and move from their homes to the polling units. So it's a peculiar situation in this country, and that is why we are doing everything to ensure that we deal with the situation and give Nigerians a very good election, so that when we're able to do that and people find it difficult to perpetrate irregularities, it means whether they like it or not, they must comply, they must conform with the new direction.
So another table has turned now, because what Lagosians are saying is when we talk about irregularities, they are looking towards INEC, saying that INEC is likely to conduct itself in a manner that would amount to irregular behavior.
Well, I look at it, because I did a little bit of my studies, I look at it as a disinformation strategy, right? And that is quite obvious from what obtained in Ekiti, Osun, and even Edo State, right? In Edo State, before the actual election, somebody went on here to say whatever the result is announced, it was not going to be acceptable. And soon after the election, INEC is the best thing that can happen to Nigeria. I think you get what I'm saying. Now, so what I'm saying is, we have regretted the shortcomings in the takeoff of the distribution of permanent voters cards. But I want to assure Lagosians that our interest, because people have also complained about the reduction in the number of people registered in
well, just about to come to that particular issue, because that came up even before the issue of some local governments will not be involved in this, permanent voters cards distribution. Yeah. What exactly happened to the figure in Lagos State? It came down from 6.2 to about 4.8 million. Okay, 6.1.
Yeah,
about 4.8 million.
We subjected. One thing that must be realized is that that reduction is not limited to Lagos State alone. It's all over. It happened all over the country, in all the states of the federation.
There was a general reduction.
Yes. And why?
What is the general voting population now? What did it come down from to what?
From 74 point something million
Yes.
to about 70 point something billion.
To about 70 million,
Yeah.
of which Lagos State, number was a huge chunk of that 70 million.
Yes.
So
Now, the point is this. This data was subjected to 3 levels of processing. We started with consolidation, and that in itself reduced it to 5.4. Then we went on to AFIS, Automatic Fingerprint Identification System, where double registrants and things like that were removed. Then the third one is the business rule. The business rule accepts only those with at least 2 fingerprints. And why? Because without fingerprints, one cannot be accredited on the election day, because it will require your thumb printing, the card reader, for you to compare your fingerprint with the biometrics in the card. And so this has reduced the number. But the good aspect of it is that we are not saying those people can no longer vote. We are only saying that come back to us this time when we have started the continuous voter registration. Come and register so that your fingerprints, your biometrics, your biodata, and your facial image will be captured properly in our database. And when you are issued with your permanent voter's card, there will be no problem when it comes to accreditation on election day. So this is the reason. And I want to refer to 2011 registration. On the first 2 days, there were hiccups here and there. And most of the ad hoc staff registered people without capturing their fingerprints. And INEC directed that such people should go back to the registration centers to register. And some did not do that. So those that did not go back will automatically have their fingerprint, their names removed from the database, because the technology that the printer of the cards is using is to withdraw the fingerprints and print cards for those that have satisfied those conditions.
Is your database central?
Pardon?
Is the INEC database, is it central?
Yes.
So if it is central, why are you localizing voting?
Well,
Why are you curtailing or restricting voting to polling units?
No,
As in,
the data is central to the extent that each polling unit has the registrants contained in our database as such.
okay. Now, is it not possible that INEC can void a card reader in a particular polling unit for one reason or the other that they may not even explain to the people? Is it not possible?
I don't think so.
During election day, I come to polling unit A to vote. She goes to polling unit B. He goes to polling unit C. INEC could sit down and decide that let's void polling unit C, because we can say that the card reader there had an issue, so it wasn't reading properly. And the people that voted there would lose their votes.
No.
So you say you're employing technology. What I'm trying to say is you're employing technology with a central database. Why can't we use that same card that INEC has said has MasterCard features? Why can't we use that same card to vote anywhere in the country? It's the same question I asked you, but we need explanation on that.
Well, there are various reasons. Maybe the technology has not developed to that level. I mean, within
The technology INEC is employing.
Yes. I'm very sure after 2019 elections, we're going to make use of identity cards for elections at that time. And I feel that what we've done is to ensure that when you make these PVCs specific for polling units, there are people within that area that will know you, so it's an additional feature, right, for people to be able to identify. And that is why we say where you work, where you reside, or where you originate from. So if you are coming from Kaduna to a place in Lagos, people around there will know that, oh, this is our son, right? It's not just somebody from outer space. So these are added features to the issue of accreditation. Our intention is to ensure that our votes count, right? If somebody is supposed to have 11 votes, he will not have more than those 11 votes.
What